Hey guys, welcome back. It's us.
Oh. Start that over because I don't know why I was looking at that thing because now I think I'm turned up too much.
No. Just keep going.
Okay.
Leave it in. Hey Dan.
Here I am. I'm with you. I'm with us. Here I am. I was making sure everything was working properly. I'm here. The Mariah report.
It's the Mariah report.
Mariah.
There's things to report.
A couple things, yeah.
A surprising anniversary snuck up on us, which is Music Box 30.
I know. It's mind blowing to me because I remember that era so well, and I'm like, it can't be 30.
It is.
If it's 30, that means I'm
29.
How old? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and we're going to talk about some word on the streets. There's a couple word on the streets.
Yes, and it's a good one too because the hot topic is Barbie right now.
Oh yes, Barbie here, Barbie there.
And of course, Mariah's name is being circulated in the conversation.
Yes, absolutely. But we'll get into all that kind of other stuff. But how is summer in New York, Martin? What's going on over there?
It's been fun, actually. I had a friend who lives downtown in Soho. He's a singer, so he went on tour around Turkey and Greece for 2 weeks. So I stayed at his house in Soho, which I've never stayed at before in that part of town. So I had like a fun little 2-week vacation downtown.
It sounds fabulous. In Soho, all the things.
Yeah, super fun. Well, it's right by New York University, so there's like a lot of student action happening.
Oh, yes.
And then a lot of rich people action happening.
Oh, yes.
And I was just walking around both.
You were right there in the middle of it all.
Investigating it all. But, it was a different experience. It was fun. I went and hung out in like the West Village a lot.
Yes.
Found some like cool places to eat, places to hang out. Went down to like the pier on the Hudson River, the Christopher Street Pier.
Oh, yes. It's very popular.
Yes. Did a little picnic down there, so it was really fun.
Yeah. Oh, cute.
There's a heat wave over here. Well, everybody, I guess the whole world experienced the heat wave.
Yeah, everybody's in a heat wave.
Yes.
I hope Mariah's holding up well in the heat wave.
I think the humidity is good for the voice.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. It's very humid over there. It's not so much humid here. It's just hot.
I was Mariah adjacent. I went and saw her building a few times by happenstance.
Oh, really? Oh, you
yes.
just wandered by.
I was in that area, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Oh, those were the good old days, just being able to walk by Mariah's house. Good old days. Oh, the good old days of stalking.
Well, she's there in California 50-50 now, it seems like.
I know, but you never know where she's at here until like she leaves.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
So you just
what's happening? Yeah, what's happening over there in LA?
Oh, with me, absolutely nothing. Just trying to make it through these hot days.
I want to describe what I'm seeing on the video to the listeners. Dan has plants in his background.
Oh my God! Now
they're lush, thriving plants, but he's also wearing a shirt with leaves and sticks, and so he's blended. I see eyeballs and lips moving.
It's all plant-based.
It's plant-based. It's very vegan, this episode.
I was like, what are you seeing? I don't know. Oh my God. I was like, is my hair not right? It's fine. No, I'm just surrounded by plants, my whole face.
It's very LA.
Yes, it is very LA. They love the plants over here. You know what they love in LA? They love plants, milkshakes,
vegan food,
and DJing. Everyone's a DJ here. Everyone's a DJ.
Oh yeah,
Yes. So yes, but plants is a thing. Well, because I have to fill up the room somehow.
Yeah, you need plants.
You need plants.
I'll come out a stack of plants over there.
Absolutely, yeah. But they're doing well in the heat because sometimes
they love the heat.
I gotta turn the AC on for me, but I'm like, well, maybe it's too cold in here for these plants, so I have to turn it off.
No, this is the growing season for them because of the heat.
Oh,
makes them
they're
grow.
definitely growing. I'm like, "Oh my god, this one over here is growing so much, I don't even know what to do with it."
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yes. I've been at home taking care of my plants.
Clearly, I can tell.
I'm like,
You're turning into one.
I literally.
Oh man. Hey,
Um,
by the way, there was no episode the last week or two. If you're wondering why there's no episode, there actually is an episode. We had a technical meltdown. However, there's like an unedited, long Patreon Plus version over at patreon.com, and it's free. So go check it out over there, patreon.com/The Mariah Report. The link's in the description. You can legit just play it for free over there.
yeah, like, just all the way. Because we talk about good things over there, like Mariah's, Touch My Body TikTok,
Moment,
and
yeah.
other moments, and all that kinda stuff. So, go there, hear it, and
Check it
we'll
out.
be back. Yeah.
Okay, but there's Mariah stuff to talk about this week.
Okay, so there's some things. There's some
Yeah.
good things. Shall we start with the word on the streets?
Let's do the word on the street, but also we're going to read the entire Rolling Stone article because it was so good
It's
as
a
well.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up.
Oh, it was a good read. Good
Good
read.
read.
We
Yeah.
love a good read over here, you know?
Yes, yes. We
Okay,
need it.
so there's 2 word on the streets that I actually wanna talk about today, because you know me, I'm always scrolling through some sort of social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, the first one, I don't know, but, like, this man tweeted it, so I'm just gonna relay the information, okay? Because I don't know anything about what he's talking about. But, this person, Fred Frenchie 1 on Twitter, he tweeted a
You mean
photo of.
X?
Oh, yes. Oh my god, it's X. Oh my god, how dare I? I'm sorry. Sorry to mislabel.
It had a transitional moment.
Yes, hey, you gotta transition to whatever you need to be. Okay, now we're X. It's gonna take me a while. But then you know what? I'm like, I'm not calling it X because I'm from Chicago, and when they changed the name of the Sears Tower building, I'm like, I'm still gonna call it Sears Tower
Mm.
because that's what I've known forever.
What is that?
That's a building.
Okay, in iconic building in
In
Chicago.
Chicago, yes.
What is it now?
Now it's like the Willis Tower, but they changed
Oh,
it probably like decade ago.
so it's like
But
a stadium. They can sponsor the building.
well, it's not a stadium, it's like it's a skyscraper.
Oh, but now
But yeah, like, I
new
guess
owners.
it was yeah, exactly. Like, you know how all like Sears used to own it or something? They used to have, like, their offices in it.
Ah,
So, like, they, like, owned a big majority of it, so they called it the Sears Tower. I don't know the story behind it, but I know they changed it to Willis Tower because you know Sears doesn't exist anymore, right?
doesn't it? Was
It
that
does.
that was a store, wasn't it? Like a hardware
Yeah,
store?
like a yeah, department store.
Oh,
Yeah. So I don't know if they're in business or out of business, but I haven't seen one in decades. And then they changed the name to the Willis Tower. And I was like, well, girl, you could change name. It's still the Sears Tower.
okay.
But anyways, they tweeted, I don't know what you call it even now. They tweeted. He says, seems like Mariah Carey and I are about to get back on the road again. Anyway, we'll let you know about that soon. For now, get to them culture card pre-sales, which I think is an NFT. So we can't get into that. But
No, you know the NFT are allegedly all going bankrupt.
yes, I heard about that.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense about them to
And they're
me.
going to jail, all those executives?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yes, allegedly.
Okay. Well, allegedly, Mariah's going on tour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, back to the juicy part. Hang on. Let's break it down. Who is this person?
No idea.
And he
Absolutely.
thinks
No
Mariah's going on tour.
With
Soon.
him. With him.
Okay. If something's happening soon, that means Christmas, because Christmas is around the corner now. It's August.
That's true. So it could be Christmas related. And maybe she's doing some shows, some Christmas shows.
Did you hear the word on the street that she's going to be doing a Christmas show at that new Sphere thing in Vegas?
I did hear that word on the street. I
Which
did.
could be a thing.
And I wouldn't be surprised because, like we've discussed before, that thing is a Madison Square Garden thing.
And she has the phone number to them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's going to be, so that'll be big. Could you imagine when they turn it into a big Mariah snow globe?
Yeah. And they played the music video all over the globe.
I can't wait. I'll go to Vegas for that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. That would be good times.
But they better start selling tickets this August. I need to know how much in this economy. I need to start saving now.
Exactly. Need to know ahead of time.
Yeah.
We don't have time for this. But anyway, so we'll look out for any word on that. It's probably a Christmas thing. If anything, she'll probably do a few dates here or there. But also Christmas related is the other word on the street. And now we have talked about it here on the Mariah Report a few times. It's been circling around the rumor mill for many, many months, even from last Christmas season. It is the Mariah Carey and Barbie collaboration for a holiday Mariah Carey Barbie. Now, those are the big Barbies, because my friend is a doll collector. He tells me all about it.
And that's a whole other genre of fans. The doll community.
They're serious. They're very serious. It's a very serious, very profitable thing as well.
Yes, the collectibles.
Oh, yes, honey. I watched an episode of The Hoarders recently.
Oh, yeah. Oh, me too.
I am obsessed with The Hoarders, which is probably a form of hoarding in and of itself, but
hoarding light.
But there was a woman on there, and she was a hoarder, but she also hoarded Barbie dolls.
Oh,
yes, and she had. I'm going to make a long story short because
wait. Describe the hoard. Was like piled up together.
Okay, the hoard is like a lot of dolls, and it's also a lot of junk. So yes, everything is piled to the ceilings. You can see that like there are boxes like of Barbie dolls that have never been opened that are piled to the ceiling. But there's also like, filth and everything like that.
Rats in the flat cat and stuff.
Oh, yes. All of that is there. But
they always can't find the cat, and then they find the cat.
They will always find the cat. And sometimes the flat cat is in the freezer. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it is like it's a hybrid of a hoard here because we got the dirty filth and then we got the dolls. Now, most of the dolls are in boxes and they're not like terribly, hoarded, like in terms of like, feces and, rat urine and all those kinds of things. Like, because she has them mainly in boxes and stuff. So they're going through one box, her and the hoarder, like the lady who helps them organize. And she's like, okay, you have to throw some of these away and you have to keep some of these. You choose, but like, let's go. And it takes them an hour to go through one box of 50 dolls. And she keeps most of them. And then the hoarder organizer lady, she's like, okay, you see how long that took just to go for 50 dolls? And she's like, yes, I see how long that took. And she's like, well, you have 18,000 more dolls to go through. So we have to speed this up.
Oh my God.
She had over 18,000 Barbie dolls.
Here's my question. How do they afford this stuff?
That's what I always say. I'm like, where do you get the money for this?
I can't afford to be a hoarder in general. No matter what I want to hoard. I don't have the money for it.
I do not have money to hoard.
Yes.
I just not believe it. I mean, she'd obviously been collecting for years and she had some old Barbie dolls as well. But anyways, again, long story short, I'm going to make this long story medium story. They eventually bring in an appraiser to appraise the doll collection because, again, most of them are in pretty good shape. And this man comes in and he looks at all the dolls and he gives them a rough estimate. He's like, well, on the low end, I think you're looking at $500,000.
What?
$500,000. And the husband who's been living with his wife, who's been hoarding this whole time, his face just like lights up like he just won the lottery. And he's like, oh my God, we are selling these dolls, girl.
Yes.
And like the whole first half of the episode, like the husband was miserable. He was horrible. Like they were arguing, they were fighting. As soon as he sees those dollar signs, he's like, oh, honey, can we get a few more of these dolls? Like, pile them on. And he was just like, he was just happy as could be after he found out that he's sitting on $500,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Could you believe it? So that goes to
It's
say,
serious. Dolls collecting is serious.
very serious.
And profitable, apparently.
Yes, yes, honey. And that's why, okay, so now my friend sent me a Facebook post from a doll collector who's very big and well known in the doll collecting world. Their name is Papasil or something like that. They're from Romania, but they have the inside on like all the dolls, all the Barbies, what's going on, right? And they posted just a few days ago. They say, great piece of news. The Mariah Carey holiday Barbie has started to pop up at toy suppliers in lots of different countries. So we should be getting a glimpse of her pretty soon. That's what I said.
Toy suppliers.
Right? So they're probably...
Wait, does that mean this toy store or the people who make the toy?
Think it's,
or distribute the toy?
I think it's like it's either... They're not in the toy stores yet, obviously, but so I'm thinking it's a maker, the toy makers, or the toy, something like that.
Maybe we need a doll expert to help us out, but the way you described it, maybe it's like Mattel makes the doll in China, then it gets shipped to like a warehouse in the different countries, and then they supply it to the different shops in the area.
Yeah. It sounds like a supplier then, yes. That makes sense.
So that means they're physically made.
Well, it takes a while to make a Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, that sounds even more exciting. And it's obviously a holiday Barbie. So those are very like high end. So these dolls are probably going to be like $80 to $100.
Oh.
Retail price. Yeah. So it's a high end Barbie. The holiday Barbies are always a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yes, girl. It's happening. It is happening. I'm telling you, it's happening.
Mariah Barbie. Exciting.
I know.
Well, Barbie's so hot right now. People are going to go nuts for Mariah Carey Barbie.
Exactly. That's why we got to get right in there and we have to get our hands on those immediately. You better buy 2 or 3, honey, because
apparently they're worth more money in your hoard when you hoard them up.
You hoard them up, girl. It's more dollars. You might have to hoard them for 20 years, but that's all right. You could buy a house with that. And we're not talking Barbie dream house.
Okay, well, that's sort of exciting.
Yes, exactly. It's definitely happening because, again, I will also remind everyone that a few months ago, or maybe at the top of the summer, the Mariah Network had tweeted something saying, and they tagged Mariah X Barbie. And so that to me sort of symbolizes that, yes, it's
official
because they got inside information over there.
Yes.
Allegedly.
And we had that leak where someone hacked the coding on the Target website and somehow found a space for a Mariah Carey Barbie.
Exactly. So, yes, that's why the stores are probably getting ready and they have they're getting their systems ready to have that item.
Yes.
So it's happening.
It seems like it.
I think it's happening this year. It's going to have to happen this year.
Well, perfect timing. I'm glad it wasn't like a random Christmas last year or in 5 years. Now that Barbie is so popular right now, perfect.
Absolutely perfect. Could not be any better. I hope she's like gorgeous. I don't know what kind of hair they're going to give her. What kind of hair do you think they're going to give her?
Yikes. Do you think flat hair?
I don't know. You know what? The only thing that I hope they don't do...
Santa hat?
Yes, I don't want a Santa hat. And I also do not want the outfit from the cover of Merry Christmas.
It's going to be.
I know I don't want it to be, but it's a holiday Barbie. So, like, a holiday Barbie has usually got a big gown, jewels and glamour.
Well, don't forget, Barbie can change clothes.
Yeah, she can,
Maybe we got options.
but this is a doll that you don't wanna take out of the box.
True. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta buy one. You buy this is why you buy 2.
Okay.
Back to how I used to do with my Mariah magazines back in the day. You buy 1 to cut up and put in your scrapbook,
Yeah.
and then you buy 1 to put in the hoarding box, the Mariah hoarding box that stays in the closet.
Yeah. And now it's worth a few $1,000s.
Few $1,000. Yes, absolutely. Yes, so that's why you gotta buy 2.
Okay. Well, I think that's exciting.
Yeah. I
Something
cannot wait.
different.
Again, I hope it goes in the announcement of, like, Christmas things, so hopefully by October, which is right around the corner, she'll
Hmm.
release, like, if she's doing Christmas shows this season, the announcing of Barbie. It could be a big Christmas season for her.
Between October and December is too close of a time frame for selling tickets. I need more lead time.
I know, but you know how they do nowadays, like, they don't I mean, unless you're like Beyoncé or Taylor Swift, they don't announce tickets, that far out anymore
Yeah,
for the smaller,
I
moments.
know.
Like, when did we find out she was doing, Madison Square Garden last year? I can't even remember.
I think it was pretty quick.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be in that October sort of time frame, like
Uh-huh.
fourth quarter.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep an eye out.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Love it.
I'm actually like low-key looking forward to watching the Christmas specials again.
Oh, I
The
love it.
first one and the third one
Yeah. We'll leave
in particular.
the second one for another time. But yeah, absolutely. Cannot wait.
Same. And now we can watch it with our holiday Barbie. Like a true psychopath.
Exactly.
With our dolls.
Dolls are very serious. How dare you?
Well, shout out to the doll community for supplying that information.
Yes, honey, this is where you need it. You got to, like, cross pollinate your information sometimes.
Yes. Uh-huh. Oh,
You
no
know?
stone unturned around here. We will
Oh,
check
yes.
out the doll community blog if you say Mariah.
Exactly. Now, I will say that, I was obviously when my friend sends me that, I have to ask follow-up questions,
Yeah.
multiple follow-up questions. And I was like, who is this person? Where are they from? Have they ever had this information before? How reliable is this? All this kind of stuff. And he's like, well, they're pretty well known in the doll collecting community or so. And then he's like, let me go check the Barbie Reddit pages.
Oh,
And he was like, okay, nobody's really, saying anything over there as of yet. But he'll keep me posted.
interesting.
Yeah. But you got to
Okay.
look everywhere.
Well, group effort. Everybody fan out and start digging up Barbie information.
Yes. Tell us everything you learn.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's happening. So let's just stay on top of it for now. But we should talk about the Rolling Stone article that came out recently to celebrate Music Box 30.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to talk about how Mariah's not really mentioning Music Box 30?
Yeah, I guess she has not. But I'm sure we're going to get something. She'll say something.
When's the official Music Box 30 date?
August 31st, I believe.
Oh, so we still have a month.
Yeah. You know what, though? I feel like something tells me Mariah tweeted something about it not too long ago.
I'm surprised Sony isn't doing anything because it was such a big seller for them.
Right. I mean, there should be all kinds of, like, anniversary editions because 30 is a big number.
What did we get? And it was like Music Box that had the gold cardboard around it. The like 20th anniversary?
Oh, probably. I know it was a CD though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
I think
gold.
it was 20. I think, yeah.
So what? That was 10 years ago. So that was no, it was before that. I was at the record store.
Then maybe it was 10.
It was like, it must have been 10. Yeah. It was in the 2000s.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they're not doing something like that. But you can't do CDs. So what would you do? Just release stuff?
Who says you can't do
A
CD?
vinyl. A vinyl.
Yeah, but haven't we gotten vinyls? We got the vinyls when she did the MC30 things. We got the vinyl from Vinyl Me Please. Like, what else could she give us? You know, in terms of like physical.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the music video. Anytime you need a friend. Snippets. Remember the last video? I think she gave us all the music box stuff.
Yeah, I think she did. So there's nothing unless she comes up with a whole new thing, but like, who knows?
What about they gave Hero a special moment? That's been such an iconic thing from Music Box.
Okay, that'd be cute. But again, I feel like she would let us know by now. It's August 2nd, 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So we would already know because if the anniversary is coming up the 31st, I think it's the 31st, I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
I feel like it would already be announced or something.
Okay, but what's making me nervous is that we're now moving through the catalog. Daydream 30 is going to be concerning.
Oh, I cannot.
And then Butterfly 30 and Rainbow 30?
Can you believe it? I can't even comprehend.
Stop the clock.
Immediately, if not sooner.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It's wild.
I know.
Because I so remember those days.
But it also feels like yesterday was MC30, the original.
I know.
One.
Now it's like MC30 something or another.
Plus.
Yeah. No, but like I remember, watching the Dreamlover video. I remember getting, the all the remixes and whatnot. All that kind of stuff. Like that was like big. It was big moments. They were big moments. Now I don't know when I got the remixes. It might have been more towards like 94 or so. But yeah, probably definitely in 94 because I didn't actually get the album until Christmas of 93. So like Dreamlover just did its 30th anniversary of the day it was released. And then the album came out and then I got it for Christmas. So I probably heard the remixes and everything in 1994 at some point.
Interesting.
So I was probably a little late to the game, but what do I know? I was just a little baby gay. Anyways, they did a great Rolling Stone write-up on the impact of Dreamlover, specifically the Club remix by David Morales.
Right.
And it was a fabulous read.
Should we read it or read highlights from it? What should we do with it?
Let's just read some highlights, because they did sit down with David Morales.
I know.
And he had some good things to say, but it was interesting to get a peek behind the scenes, behind the curtains of their magic together.
All right, let's get into it. So this is from Rolling Stone, from their pop milestone section, and it's by Cliff Johanu.
Yeah.
I think. Title: How Mariah Carey's Dreamlover Changed Dance Remixes. So not only is she out here changing like the singing game, now she's over here changing the remix game already.
Right. In 1993, like let's just bring ourselves back to like what clubs were like back then.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this. We're going to tell the younger generation. We didn't have streaming growing up. It didn't exist. So you had very few options to listen to music. It was your personal collection at home, the radio, or the club.
Right.
And I was too young to go to the club.
Me too.
I was not at the dance club in 1993.
Yeah, absolutely not. But yeah, so those were your options. But that's like going to the club to listen to music was a big thing.
Yes, new music especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
had impact, like, the
Mm.
way that TikTok impacts everybody now, that's what the club used to be.
Right. Yes. What's everybody listening to?
Mhm.
Exactly. Uh, okay. So, subtitle 30 years ago, Carrie got control of her remixes for the first time. The Def Club version of Dreamlover that followed was a 10-minute odyssey of dance, pop, house, soul, house gospel, and a vocal exhilaration and a turning point. Um, okay. 30 years ago, when Mariah Carey stepped into the studio with David Morales and transformed Dreamlover, her seventh Billboard #1, into an underground dance floor smash, it didn't just place the singer songwriter in front of a whole new audience, it changed the pop dance remixing forever. Now, already, I cannot name you another person who re-sings their dance mixes, their club mixes.
Right, and that's the thing, like, we've had remixes by Mariah at this point,
Yeah.
especially, like, Someday, Emotions,
Uh
they've
huh.
had remixes, but those were not the remixes that were playing the the deep house clubs,
Right.
Like, they were playing those in, like, maybe, other clubs, but not the house clubs.
Right.
Um
And for context, Mariah's being branded as this girl next door, the serious singer. Songwriting was
Yeah,
barely a blip back then for her. So she's like this Celine Dion esque performer,
right,
basically,
right.
polished. The house mixes, these are like gritty warehouse clubs with all kinds of things going on inside.
Yes,
The
honey, yes.
total opposite of what her image is at the time.
Right. Yeah, and when you say, who else was re-singing their remixes, I really can't remember. I know Madonna has always been at the top of the dance club charts,
Yes.
um, and some of her music naturally lended itself in those house places, but I don't think she ever re-sang anything,
Mm-hmm. No.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you think, who else? I don't think any other pop artist
I
has
can't.
ever.
This could be a good question for the audience. Who else does this in the
Or
style
who
of Mariah?
who else did it before Mariah?
Or
Or
even
around
today. Like, who's doing it today? I don't even know.
well, yeah, that's true as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. By 1993, Carrie, they say Carrie, I'm going to say Mariah. Just feels better.
Okay.
Okay. By 1993, Mariah was already a phenomenon. Having seen her first 5 releases hit the top 100, there were huge expectations for her third album, Music Box, and its lead single, Dreamlover, released on July 27th of that year. Both would go on to deliver that result, selling tens of millions of units worldwide. But this was also the first time Mariah had control of her remixes, and the result would push her to a new level of superstar cool. See, Mariah was cool back then.
Of course.
Still
I was
cool, but you know what I mean. She was like
yes,
cool.
absolutely. Everyone was loving Mariah. I was watching just recently a clip of her Music Box tour. When like last year, maybe some of those the video clips had leaked.
Yeah,
And when you look at who's in the audience, and you can even see this on the Thanksgiving special or anything from back in those early 90s,
yeah.
everybody was loving Mariah.
Uh huh.
Everybody. There were tons of straight men
Yeah,
jamming out to Mariah.
yeah.
Everyone loved her.
They loved. Okay, one night in 1993, I was oh, this is the writer. I was at the infamous After Hours Club Trade at Turnmills, then London's only after hour venue, located in desolate Clerkenwell, um, an area long since gentrified and now more famous for boutique shops and quirky cocktail bars. Trade was a sprawling basement club that was everything Studio 54 wasn't: industrial, dark, and more deviant in its hedonism. It has often been cited as an inspiration to Berlin's famous Berghain. Do you know what that is?
No. I think it's some sort of, like, infamous,
Club in
club
Berlin.
in Berlin. Girl, they know how to party in Berlin, though.
Yeah, it goes down in
Yeah.
Berlin,
Yeah,
apparently.
put down.
Okay, the door entry policy was renowned for being tricky and picky. We never knew if we would get in. Oh, also back in the day, it was all about getting into the club too.
Of course, because there were a million people waiting outside.
Yes, so you had to get picked to get in. It was a whole thing. It infamously, allegedly, turned away Cher as when she arrived with an entourage in a limo, and Madonna was rumored to have been spotted on the dance floor circa her Ray of Light era. So this is in the 90s. This is all like mid 90s. I was legally too young to be in the club, but back then no one didn't need a photo. No one needed a photo ID to get in, just the right amount of wit to charm the bouncer. DJs would eventually cross over from trade to mainstream success, like Tony DeVitt and Fat Tony, spun only the freshest, edgiest music, hard-ass techno on the main dance floor, DeVitt's domain, and a funkier house sound in the trade light room. It was here on the dance floor that I first heard the Death Club mix of Dreamlover. All right, imagine that visual. You're in a club, a basement club in London in the 90s. It's dark and gritty. And here comes Mariah's voice, the Dreamlover remix.
I would just die. Because
That sounds like fun.
Right. Everybody knows the song, right? Because
Yeah.
it's huge everywhere. So everyone knows Dreamlover.
Yes.
And then to hear it in this entirely new format.
And you've probably never heard it before as well.
Right. Oh no, you wouldn't have heard this on the radio.
No.
No, you would not have been able to see it on the YouTube or anything.
No, it didn't exist.
Literally, like, I mean, that's sort of one thing I miss of those days, the excitement over, like, hearing new things.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Mariah, but, like, music in general. Now it's, everybody's teasing things or, like, blah, blah, blah.
New Music Friday on your Spotify. Don't have to go anywhere. It's on your phone. Okay, Trade was a gay club, or queer by today's standards, although that word was then yet to be reclaimed, but its music was worlds away from the fluffy songs found in the clubs of Soho. They didn't spin commercial records, and they definitely didn't play records by pop stars. Yet, David Morales' reinterpretation of Dreamlover was an altogether different beast than the original. It dared to take pop and make it darker, dancier, even dirtier. When they asked me, so this is a quote from David. When they asked me to remix this record, I was like, I can't do anything with this, Morales says when we speak via video call. Quote, my job was to make a dance record, you know what I mean, for the clubs, and that original just didn't lend itself to it at all. I was never a pop fan. Mariah actually opened that door for me. And when I first heard Dreamlover, the original, to be honest, I hated it. It just wasn't my kind of music. See, interesting. At the time, pop remixes tended to take the lead singer's vocal and sped it up. But Morales knew that cut and paste formula wouldn't resonate with his audience. To bring the breezy original into his late night world, he needed to start from scratch. Quote from David: I had never gone into the studio with an artist of that caliber ever. He says of his shot in the dark request to have Carrie re-vocal the track. Quote, so as a joke, I just said, listen, the only way this will happen is if she will have to re-sing the song. Never in a million years would I think that it would actually happen, but she said, I'll do it. That's unheard of.
It is unheard of, but that just goes to show that Mariah's not, like, she's like, yeah, you want to sing a house song? Like, let's, for the clubs, I could sing anything.
Right. And it was also seeing the collaboration, David actually saying, no, if you want me to do it, I need her to re-sing the songs.
Yeah.
So it's wasn't Mariah's one idea, wasn't the label's idea. You see where the synergy's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also like by happenstance as well. What if he never said that and was like, just no, I'm not doing this. We might never have had all our amazing remixes.
I know. Could you believe it?
I like spur of a moment decision.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, the first challenge was to change the key of the track. The original song was in a major key, Morales notes. How do you take that song and put it into a minor key because you're going somewhere else? You're changing the whole attitude of the song. Morales says the process was very collaborative. She's she tailor made everything to the track. It gave it a different tone. It gave her a darker edge. It allowed her to have more attitude when singing. The remix delivered a 180 turnaround in tone and mood. Carrie's delivery went from the wistful wanting of a blissful love in its original incarnation to a sensual desire, a yearning for a lover that manifested in this new take. It was a taste of the Carrie to come. Oh, yeah, okay. We just had the same thought. It was a taste of Carrie to come. The one who would be fully realized 4 years later with Honey, the first track of the Butterfly album. My thought was, oh, actually, is this the beginning of the Butterfly album?
I mean,
Because
maybe.
now we're breaking out of like the label mold and heading into like dirty,
Yes. Well,
sexier Mariah.
yeah, different genre, different mood,
Different attitude.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like because the Dreamlover remix was such a success, that's when Mariah started doing those little club interludes,
Uh-huh.
with Daydream and Butterfly. And it's
Yes.
like, yes, this actually really is me. Like
Uh-huh.
this is a part of me, you know?
Uh-huh.
And we hadn't heard that on an album before, or nothing of the sort.
No. But look at how she had to get control of her music. She had to wiggle through the side door and can I just do one remix?
Right, exactly. I mean, the same thing, she had to sort of, wiggle through the side door and then make sure it was a hit.
Uh-huh.
Same thing with Fantasy. It's like, "Okay, I'll get there, but I must be a hit. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta do this right."
Mm-hmm.
And, when you're a genius like Mariah, it's probably gonna be right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, the original Dream Lover, it's cute and it's like, hold my hand and then let's take a walk in the park, Morales says. It's a whole different approach. Now, with the remix, you can really hear her emotions of what's going on because she's more naked in the track. Clubs were like, this is Mariah. It was like, oh shit, Mama can sing, a club hit. I never I had never even heard of Mariah like that. I had never heard Mariah like that. She opened up. She always had that because you can't teach that. You have to have it.
Mhm. Yes.
The record feels as ambitious in scope today as it was back then. Opening with the echoing electronic beats alongside Carrie's syncopated ad libs, um, bouncing up and down in pitch before the piano riff kicks in and that unmistakable voice echoes out. Dreamlover quotes, lyrics, yada yada yada. The remix was a less conventional interpolation, which we know from our masterclass. We know what
Of
that
course.
means,
Yes, yes.
and a more outright reworking of a radio-friendly pop song. It dared to be dangerous. It was an amazing experience, says Morales. I learned a lot about vocals working with Mariah Carey. She's no joke. She puts in the work. She can sing. There's no auto tuning with her. There's no fixing shit. Mama's the fucking real deal. 6 minutes into the record, when Morales drops a serious sound bomb, and then the ensuing explosions that make you think it's all over, the track takes us deeper into the night. With the sounds get twisted and turned, the pace slows, and the beat builds as Carrie's whistle tones open into a full gospel house breakdown. At the 9:08 minute at 90 at 9:08 into the remix, the singer's then backing vocalist Kelly Price, Melanie Daniels, and Sean Ray Price join her to take the record to church to close the track before the lead star's vocal fades out. Quote from David: when she's doing her pop records, you're not hearing the church girl. He adds Morales of how mainstream Mariah was presented at the time. I mean, you're hearing Mariah, make no mistake, but on this remix, it's somewhere. But on this remix is somewhere where she gets to go into another zone, tapping into Mariah's connection into the church and adding gospel house sound elements to an already colossal production was another forward-thinking moment. Gospel house at the time existed on the fringes of the clubland. Although prevalent today, it was then emerging. It was then a. It was a then emerging subgenre born out of the need for Black and gay young men and women to gather and celebrate life in sanctuaries away from the persecution of religion. Oh, I never thought of it like that.
I'm telling you, they go deep.
Go enjoy the music out of the church.
Uh-huh.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, with this Dreamlover, just like what he was saying about how, like, you know, when the bomb drops,
Mm-hmm.
the Dreamlover Def Jam mix, Def remix, whatever it's called, it takes you through a series of emotions because there's so many twists and turns.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the background singers all singing Dreamlover,
Uh-huh.
it's a magical voyage from the first second to the last second because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
It just takes on so many different lives in one song. It's really superb.
Yeah. But also just imagine being in the club, you're hearing it super loud, so you're hearing all the fine details, and everyone's moving their body to it as well. Like really
Wild.
absorbing the music.
Yeah.
And then I just had a thought, but also the music is, because it has church elements in it, also a spiritual experience.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's soul to it.
Yes. Writing for the Tool Room Records website, Kristen J. Carley says that the parallels between clubs and here we go. The parallels between clubs and churches are clear. Early mornings spent in the company of friends, old and new, singing and dancing along to music served down upon us from an elevated booth is no different to a Sunday service where sermons are commanded by a preacher from a raised pulpit. These days, the DJ is our reverend, and the records are our psalms. In its entirety, the Def Club mix of Dreamlover shines as a 10-minute and 46-second odyssey of dance, pop, house, gospel, and vocal exhilaration. Best enjoyed loud on a quality sound system. It was an instant statement that Carrie was stepping out of the realms of expectation and ready to position herself as an artist at the forefront of the game, adding her own unique stamp on dance music, embracing the genre effortlessly yet authentically. The Dreamlover remix had a bigger effect in the UK than it did in America. It went more bananas in the UK, recalls Morales. In America, yes, eventually it did, but they didn't first sell it in America. It was promo only. They didn't want Mariah to be known as a dance artist Morales believes Sony held off distributing the remix in the US for the fear of tarnishing Carey's then all-American sweetheart status as a polished pop star on whom they banked and generated multi-platinum records. Mariah didn't need a remix, adds Morales. Dreamlover was massive anyway, with or without that. But Mariah, she loved and cared about Clubland. She cared about our culture. I have so many different versions of Dreamlover that nobody's ever heard.
Ugh.
What?
I don't know. I mean, we have a pretty perfect one already.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It was an era that foreshadowed a Carey ready to cut loose from the safe space of balladeering pop. Where the original Dreamlover dipped its toes into R&B beats, the remix dove headfirst into the underground club world. Carey was getting ready to fly. See, this was the beginning of Butterfly. Now that we're reading this, I've changed my theory. Do you remember our theory was like Daydream was the beginning of Butterfly?
Right. Yeah.
But now we're seeing how like this, I don't know how to describe it. Like it was, I don't know. The seed was planted here.
Yes, the seed, definitely. Absolutely. That's how, yeah.
Mm-hmm. In the era for wait, did I read that? Carey was getting ready to fly. What would come next would be the singer-songwriter embracing hip-hop in its fullest. On Fantasy, featuring Old Dirty Bastard. 2 years later, a pivotal moment that brought a hard-edged hip-hop rapper to a pop superstar and a pop superstar together on mainstream radio in a way that no artist of Carey's level had ever done. Morales and Carey would go on to collab on the equally massive Fantasy Def Club mix and criminally underrated, always my baby, always club mix.
Criminally underrated.
Criminally underrated.
Criminal.
Lambs included. Criminal activities for not appreciating that club mix. Which both transformed their palatable original radio-friendly takes into free-falling dance epics that dared to re-envision two of Carey's biggest hits as no-nonsense dance records. The success of the first Def Club mix of Dreamlover resonated across Clubland. Respected DJs were suddenly spinning a remix by the singer they only knew as the voice behind Vision of Love. Suddenly, Carey had stepped out of the mainstream and was now cool. For years after its release, the Dreamlover Def Jam mix would rank in the annual Top 100 list of DJ Mag and altered the perception that a pop song could also become a credible club smash. It sounds as uncompromisingly fresh today as it did in 1993, the hallmark of genuine game-changing music. Carey's continual devotion to Christmas may be pushing back any hopes of a long overdue summer jam. Until that time, her legacy will speak for her.
Amen.
The end. Well, that was very good.
It was very good. Somebody gets it.
Now I have some new thinking to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's really good because, again, that was just a game-changing. And, of course, I was listening to the Dreamlover MC30 EP that has all the remixes on it. And it really is timeless. Like, I don't go to, like, you know, now they're called circuit parties where they would play, like, all that kind of music. I don't go to those, but, like, you could play this and people would still be gagging over it 30 years later. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Right. And I don't know if people realize, because a lot of the big clubs are closed down. Like back in the day, there was a lot of clubs you could go to.
Yeah, and they were huge. And like, yeah. Yeah.
But it was a particular style of music because people were taking drugs. And so the flow of the song had meaning and importance to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it like affected people's drug experience too. So I think that's like where the gritty dirtiness comes into it. Like you're sort of making drug music.
I mean, yeah.
That's one of the elements of it.
You don't have to be on drugs at these things.
You don't have to be on drugs, but it's part of the experience. When you're at these circuit parties, you can tell what's going on.
Yeah.
So interesting that she would tap in, like young 20-something-year-old married to Tommy Mottola Mariah was tapping into these venues.
Yeah. I think it just goes to show that Mariah really has always had her hand in all kinds of music, like growing up listening to the radio. Obviously, she's not hearing, club remixes on the radio, but like she's listening to all genres. She's out in the clubs as probably a young teenager sneaking into
New York City.
In New York City, of course. Like, come on.
In the 90s.
Yeah. In the 80s, probably as a teenager.
As a teen, but even like the early 90s was still clubalicious.
Yeah, but do you think Mariah Carey, multi-Grammy award winning, she's just walking into the club?
Well, we know she likes to stay up all night.
Well, she maybe was, but I'm just saying, I mean, like, as a teen, you go out to like the clubs and stuff. I mean, back then.
Yeah.
I don't know what the teens do now, make TikToks, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm just thinking like with a lot of these clubs that were like big and they played this kind of music, for me, I came on like I was old enough at like right as they were going out.
Same.
Like sort of at the end of the 90s, like a lot of them were shutting down because of like activities or, we're cleaning up the streets, whatever.
Gentrification,
yeah. All that kind of stuff. But I would go when I was in New York, stalking Mariah at a young age. I was going to the Roxy.
Yes, the Roxy.
Yes, I was going to the big clubs that were playing this kind of music.
I went to the Roxy. Yes, I went to the Roxy, and they played Honey. I remember they played a few Mariah tracks at the Roxy.
Yeah, for sure.
I was here on vacation.
Yeah,
I was 20 years old. I got in underage.
Yes, girl, because you could do it.
Yeah,
you could do it. Now everything is like, not only do I have to check your ID, I have to scan your
it.
ID.
Yes.
So yes, we're talking about a different day and age. We were lucky enough to sort of get it right there on the tail end to experience some of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good times, and Mariah, as always, game changer.
Yeah, in the club,
everywhere, love it.
Gosh,
absolutely love it.
Now I gotta go play that remix.
Oh, and then you got to go to the Always Be My Baby remix, because that's what I did, because I was like, oh, now I got to listen to the Always Be My Baby remix, which I've been loving for many, many a decade.
Yes.
I can't even get into it because I won't stop how good that remix is.
Super good. My question is, did she like rewrite the lyrics on the fly? Is that improvised?
Right? Like, how do you even do that?
Like it's different lyrics.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's people don't even know. They don't know.
They don't know.
They do not know. They should know.
And they cannot even do it themselves.
No, they wish they could do it.
Yeah.
They wish. All right, but we're going to continue this conversation over on Patreon. We're going to wrap this episode up, but thank you for listening.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed this show, please do us a huge favor, 2 favors, or maybe 3. Please double.
Well, make it 4. Let's just make it an even 4.
I'll do some work right now. Make sure you're following us on your podcast app, because when you hit follow, it just sends a message to the apps. It helps us grow. It's a whole thing. You'll be surprised what a difference it makes, but it really does. So please double check you've hit follow. Push that little button. Nothing happens. You just get alerts, or barely even alerts when there's a new episode. But it really helps us out. If you're on Apple Podcasts, hit the 5-star button. Please leave a review. That really helps the show grow as well. Drop in an emoji. Tell us your favorite Mariah Club mix. Anything. It could be anything. As long as there's activity. We love it. And then if you really want to support the show and you want bonus content, come join us at patreon.com/The Mariah Report. $5 a month. Cancel anytime. There is tons of content over there right now that you can go and listen to. It's a good time. It's a fun community of Mariah Report listeners / Mariah fans. We're all talking. We read out comments. It's a good time.
Good times, yes.
And that's it. So we'll see you over there.
Bye.
Bye.